No, it looks good. I mean, did they agree to do stuff on GitHub?
Yeah. We added that like as Simon told you last time. So that's not a problem at all. It's just like, yeah, when they're developing that, it's because they have the whole setup and infrastructure and the pipelines and everything set up, locally. They're going to use that, and like when everything is done, we're just going to deploy that to the GitHub, so it's open source.
Sam, how do you feel about that? Like them doing it all locally and then kicking it out? I don't know the culture. I'm not a dev, but is that cool?
I am not understanding. So aren't we going to be? I guess that the Jira board is about having those issues in some way.
Yeah,
I mean,
yes.
To have the tasks there.
Yeah. So basically, the Jira is the software for the project management they're using internally. So they have it set it up, within their environment, and that's like basically how it's done in dev shops around the world. But it's similar what we currently have on the GitHub with those issues, and maybe we're using ZenHub and stuff like that. But they're using Jira. So
the GitHub itself is not open source either. I mean, if we are going to use something that it's not open source, anyway.
I'm just the thing. I'm not worried about the planning as much as when they're developing, they're going to develop local, and I don't know how much it will be easy for Sem to be able to help with that at all, and then basically the plan is they develop it locally and then kick it to GitHub at the very end when it's basically ready.
Will I have access to the code in the meanwhile?
Yeah, of course, for sure. I mean, you will be developing that and helping along the way. So basically, you will have access to everything.
Cool.
And why don't prefer to have to be just committing to GitHub or something else? I didn't understand that.
Have you ever worked in a dev shop or in a dev environment with other teams and with other setting with a setup pipeline with a Jira and local stuff and everything else? Then you would be familiar with that workflow. So it's totally the same as we're doing right now. It's just like it's not directly on a GitHub and visible to everyone immediately. That's the only difference.
The thing is that it can we can set it up in a way that we can just share the commits on GitHub. Actually, it's just if I download the code and it's everything in Git, I can just push to GitHub and that's all. I mean,
I suggest. Sorry. I suggest when you join the Slack, you figure that out with the guys the best way, and that's basically it. Like I would definitely suggest to just, I mean, to make it as easy as possible, and just like don't try to adjust to their workflow currently, which isn't much different than ours basically, and everything is basically the same. It's just like the matter of like, are we using GitHub, like is it private or the public, and that's it. And at the very end, we're just changing the permission and saying it's public now, but basically it's the same thing, right?
So the only thing that I would suggest not to publish it is that there are some passwords in the code or something like that. For example, API keys or user and passwords, or which sometimes it happens.
Yeah, don't worry about it. I mean, those guys are professionals, so they know what they're
doing. What I was just saying is I've never worked on anything that hasn't just been in GitHub. I have no idea what I'm doing, so I don't know if it's a problem or not. I assume it's not, but I wanted to just bring it up because everything else looks really perfect, amazing, honestly. Like, we wait, basically we set up the plan, which is happening right now, and then we start on the 28th. I mean, that sounds fantastic. but yeah, working locally and just making sure people have access to the code if by some, grace someone else wants to help is the only fear that I have. But I think it's more than worth it.
I think it should not be a problem with their workflow at all to have that public. And later I ask in the Slack if it can be done that way, because it's just.
And I think it's one of those things that if they have resistance to it, they don't make them. I know you're not this kind of person anyway, but don't tell them to do something, right? Just like, if you can do it, you can do it, and then
I don't think I don't think there's any problems with onboarding developers and having people to see the progress and preview everything and have access to everything. That's basically, I mean, that I don't see any issues in that at all. So it's basically the same thing.
Because the code is going to be open source at the end anyway.
Yeah, it's just a matter of like how they're set up their environment. Like if they were need to do something completely different, then that would slow down the processes. And it's just a matter of like how they're set up their workflow, which is like a basic workflow like any other dev shop has or team. And that's basically it. So there's not really no much difference than that.
Okay.
Cool.
I will ask later in the Slack.
Yeah, sure.
To see what we can do.
Is there anything else that we need to go into on the front end in the plan?
From my end, nothing. If anyone has any questions or comments.
Okay. Well, then let's introduce Tanner. Hey, Tanner. How's it going, man?
Hey, Tanner.
Hey, guys.
Tanner's from the token engineering community, and he's excited to try to jump into cadCAD. So I don't know, Andrew, if you want to give a little intro into where we are in the cadCAD development for Tanner, and or maybe Tanner, you can introduce yourself and say any intentions and instructions you have for the call, and then we'll go into the cadCAD side of things.
Yeah, sure. So I've been looking at the simulation code a bit. Spoken to Andrew actually on this through Telegram as well. But yeah, I became interested in token engineering, I think, last year in Berlin at Diffusion. Was part of the token engineering group there, and it really just I was having some sort of intuition before that about this whole way to formally approach systems at a higher level, because I was a big fan of formal verification, because these smart contracts and whatnot are very critical in a critical piece of software. But what about higher level systems? So when I found token engineering, I was like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted, but wasn't smart enough to come up with on my own. So it was awesome to see. So yeah, I've been following it ever since.
Cool. Well, any do you want to give any more updates on the cadCAD push, Andrew? In fact, are we up to date on the repo right now?
No, I just pushed stuff to now it's on the common simulator repo. So okay, so yes, then I have pushed some recent updates just before the call. So yeah, the question, how quickly can you jump in, Tanner? And because we have a few things to write on the last policy, which is participant voting, and participants may decide to rebalance their holdings across proposals when they buy more tokens. So yeah, that is the final part. Yes, and it would be cool if we could write that together.
Yeah, I think that yeah, sorry, go ahead.
We joined the two repos that we were working on in one, which is the common simulator, and we are working on on a branch that probably we want to move to master because we are working on that branch for a long time, and it's not stable, but I guess that it's the main work that we are doing now. And the master is quite outdated. And yeah, so the code is going to be in Common Simulator, the Common Simulator repo. Please go ahead.
Okay, so you're talking about the work that Andrew just mentioned is something you were working on?
Yeah, well, I'm working together with Sam on like integrating the front end and the back end. Then now the whole push is to have these working. So now I got everything except for participant voting, I think. And we need that for the game to work.
Sure. So I think that yeah, I can jump in pretty quickly. I've done the cadCAD trainings that are available and things like that. The only thing that I would like is get kind of more of your tacit knowledge and thought process behind it, because there's only so much that's communicated through the deliverables itself. So I think we should set up a time to meet and just walk me through kind of the thinking behind it a bit, and then yeah, I can jump in and start producing something.
Cool. How about a call like later today or maybe tomorrow?
Yeah, we'll set something up over Telegram.
Okay.
And just like the high level plan is, or from what I hope to see, is that we get the cadCAD simulation to spit out these 3 charts and have all the pieces in place that it needs. But when once you know all of the policies are there and things can be tweaked, then we actually need to tune it. And there'll be a lot of work on trying to make sure that the 6 parameters that users come in to inject into the cadCAD simulation actually have an effect, right? And figuring out what range we want to allow the users to actually change data, you know, for each of the 6 parameters. And so there'll be, and it's also kind of a weird cadCAD model because it's not actually trying to do what cadCAD normally does, where it's like, oh, let's simulate and figure out a good, you know, parameterization for a deployment. Instead, it's for a game. And so we're using cadCAD like a fortune teller, or like tell us the future, and it's only going to run one non-randomized future. And then it's almost kind of silly because like the users are going to just input 6 parameters, but really they should just go into cadCAD and like optimize it to find out what the best 6 parameters are, right? But that's kind of the trick.
Right.
The kind of the trick is like, why am I even playing this game? You know, cadCAD's right here. I can hack the game and win. And that's what we want. We want them to hack the game and win, you know? And then they'd be like, oh my God, cadCAD is awesome, right? That's kind of the dream. So
yeah,
we'll see if it works out. Hey, Cyprian. Welcome to the party. Oh, you're muted or something. There it is. Do you have any intentions for the call, Cyprian? Oh, you're still muted. Ooh. Well, that's crazy. Okay. We'll let Cyprian come in a second. The next topic is actually conviction voting. So this is kind of a Gitcoin. It's Gitcoin season again. So we gotta like support our Gitcoin grants. We have this. This is what gets everyone to get some funding for this project, which is really cool. It still kind of has this open source volunteer vibe, but then everyone gets paid. It's crazy. So we have a Gitcoin grant out, and you can see it was linked in the Telegram chat. And we also have this crazy thing with the Common Stack, where we're actually using conviction voting that Sem put out, spent lots of time on deploying this, where CStack token holders, which I think everyone in here has CStack token hold. I'm not sure if Tanner does, but, and so if you have CStack tokens, you can vote on the different Gitcoin grants that you want to see supported. And Panvala is doing this crazy matching round where they're giving away, right now it's over $200,000 to Gitcoin grants with Pan. So the Common Stack is probably like, you know, the biggest Pan. We were #1 last round, and I bet we'll be #1 this round on allocating the issuance of Pan. And so I'm guessing that we will get to donate somewhere around 80 to 100K to our top 15 Gitcoin grants. So if you have CStack tokens, you want to vote on this, and because it will definitely be driving major funds to the CStack to whatever Gitcoin grants you like the best. So yeah, just want to throw that out there. It's at cv.commonstack.org. Definitely go and vote on it if you have CStack tokens, and vote for this project, because you know it pays us, so it's a good idea. You might even be willing to shill it on Twitter and stuff like that. You know, also there's the funding comes from donations in Pan. So if you can go grab some Pan, the Pan token from Uniswap, and don't use that to donate on Gitcoin grants, and especially look at donating Pan to the ones that have Panvala League in their name. And those grants all will get like crazy matching. Like you donate $5 and then Gitcoin will match it with 10, and then Panvala will match it with like $60. You know, it's going to be crazy. So use Pan. Anyway, that's that shill. Are there any questions on that one?
Yeah, the
Still not quite
Panvala
sure how this all
token,
works.
yeah. How is the Panvala working exactly? Because where does the
So
this was my main issue since the beginning, and I didn't have time to investigate on that. So
you know, it's really funny. We talk about token engineering, we talk about all this stuff, and really I think it's pretty simple. It's money printing, right? You just print money. And the trick is you have to give that money value, right? So Panvala prints money 4 times a year. And what they say is, hey, this money goes to people like donations. This money is matching donations. So they every year they just print money to match donations.
okay.
And so they're printing 170K or 200K right now worth of Pan on October 31st. It's going to be allocated to the people who receive Pan donations in Gitcoin.
Token wizardry,
Mhm.
token engineering.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is the secret to all of the DeFi shit that's going on right now too, right? They're just printing money and saying, hey, we're going to print money, and it's going to go to people who provide liquidity. Oh, yay! You know.
Yeah. Everyone treat this like money.
Yeah, and honestly, this is what we want to do with the Common Stack, because right now there's people producing value but the value that's produced is non-excludable, right? And if you are producing value and that value is non-excludable, then you can't have a business model. So the only solution I see within the market framework that we live in the Western nations is to print money, to reward the people that are producing value. And if they're really producing value, then we can print money that will reward that value, and that money will still have value because it's built on real value production. This is the dream, right? So you can have an economy that is just printing money for real value because it really means something. But it's a lot simpler to say than it is to actually build.
Yeah, I feel like anytime you do anything like that, inflation just becomes the thorn in the side, really.
Yeah.
The inflation comes if you consider that originally every unit of account, every little piece of value has actual value in another denomination. So you need to cross the boundary between having a unit single of account, which is self-contained, and having it linked to another value. And that value could be Bitcoin, USD, any type of other value that we currently use. If you don't do that type of matching, and so I guess the first matching, you have that initial matching, but afterwards, your inflation, you will always measure it in fiat terms or other crypto terms. But if the inflation is just contained within your system, then you don't really care about the inflation.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, and what Panvala does, the other piece of it is to create demand for Pan. They only match Pan donations, so people have to buy Pan and then use it to donate. And the other thing is the actual Pan donation determination is figured out by staking. So people who hold Pan signal on where they want the Pan inflation to go. So if you have Pan, you can go to panvala.com/staking and you can say, I want it to go to the Common Stack because the Common Stack Community Fund is clearly the best option, right? And the more people that stake their Pan behind the Common Stack, and staking is just holding the currency in your wallet and then signing a message on Panvala's website that says, I love the Common Stack. Send the inflation to the Common Stack Community Fund. And then depending on how many people stake for the 10 different leagues, that determines where the funds go. So now you have these two demand drivers, right? The actual donations and then the holders staking. So that
reminds me of things.
I don't have any Pan at the moment, so I suppose I have C stakes if I really look in my wallet somewhere.
Yeah. Well, now they're on XDAI. So our C-Stack token, we migrated to XDAI so everyone could vote without paying crazy gas because voting on mainnet is crazy. It doesn't work anymore. So unless you're using Snapshot, which is super cool. But we moved to XDAI because Snapshot and conviction voting don't fly yet.
There is a blog post that Griff wrote about how to use conviction voting in XDAI. Maybe we can share it here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to read a blog post about all this stuff.
Yeah, that's fair. And I'll just put it in the Telegram so it's not lost.
Yeah, much better.
Should we maybe write something about like the whole process? Because I guess there is like a lot of different information all everywhere, and that are all focused on one single point, which is like just Panvala or just the Common Stack or just Gitcoin or just have one single thread that be like, if you want to support your community, this is how you do. And then first get C stacks. Do you have them? No. If you don't, it's okay. This is how you do. If you do have it, this is how you do. You know?
Ooh, yeah.
I'd read that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I guess like I was gone for 2 weeks and I'm like, oh shit, I have so much stuff to understand right now. So I guess just having that little, and I'm going to do the work. So maybe, I don't know, like if someone wants to do it and I can pitch in and we can do something. Just having that kind of tree of how do you help your community, specifically Common Stack and token engineering, you know?
Mm-hmm. And give it.
Yeah, those...
I'm going to chime in because I'm interested.
And so, I mean, we're going to be shilling. We're going to be just use that and then go there and use that thing here. By the way, it's awesome. Check them out. This is their Twitter accounts, you know. Yeah, we can do that. I mean, that could be like a shout out, and at the same time a way to just help everyone.
Yeah, well, I definitely want to add some Pinballa stuff to the end of this Medium post, but we can also add some Gitcoin like like details to it too. So I'm happy to. I'm happy to. I'm happy to push that forward and maybe make a Google Doc and share it in our CSD dev channel. And then that can be the starting point, because I had to do some of this work today anyway. So yeah,
I just wanted to chime in on.
Yeah.
Hey, Griff.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Danny. You were. Go ahead.
It's okay. I just wanted to get in while this conversation is happening, that following the Medium article and the conviction voting and the CStack stuff was brilliant. And my very next thing right now is figuring out this PAN part. So like understanding what to stake in what way, and then to also have some in my wallet to use for delegating to the projects and being, you know, amping up the percentage of matching. Those are like, those distinctions are important. And I would love to have a document that describes like how best to get and use PAN in both of these scenarios. So
yeah, I just shared something. Griff, you recall from the last caucus call, Simon and Sky and Corey, they actually wanted to do the same thing. So they started to, you know, map the user flow. So I just shared that in the chat over here. It's a good starting point. I think, you know, Griff, when you start, you know, drafting the doc or whatever, maybe Cyprian, you can take that and maybe combine it with the one that I just shared. And then we can end up like with one big document for, you know, PAN, common stack, you know, whatever, give it and everything, right? So we have like one big Bitcoin user flow.
Yeah.
Bitcoin. Yeah. This is how you turn your fiat into crypto. No, we'll take that out of scope. We'll take that out of scope.
All the way down to the rabbit hole. You know, like the whole thing in one afternoon.
First, you have to get a job. And then you'll have money. No, okay, so my big question is, what's the final medium for this? Is it a Medium post? Is it a what do you think is like?
You mean the flow chart?
Yeah, the flow chart. Like, should that be in a Medium post, or should that be in something else?
Yeah, we can have something written just to explain the stuff, go there and put like all the links. But actually, like a flow chart like that would be awesome, because you can see like literally how all this different stuff work together. You have that kind of visual impression, not just the text.
Yeah, I agree with that one. And we can do like, we can mock it up in Whimsical, in Google, wherever tools you're using, whatever is, you know, Balsamic or, you know, whatever. Or even do a custom, you know, flow chart design and like print a poster here and put it on the wall or something like that.
I mean,
it doesn't matter.
Okay,
we can make it interactive. Like, you know, do you own some PAN? No. Okay, then next thing, you have to go here. Okay, step number 3, you have to do this. You know.
I mean, that's what I was hoping you'd say, is like a website where you can actually click. Where you can click.
And
what are we gonna say, Danny?
Wallet and you just do that. Hey, and you just accept every transaction one after the other one.
Oh, adapt.
Yeah, let's start with the Google Doc, then we do a flow chart, and then we put up a grant on Gitcoin to fund us for the development of the website for everybody.
Well, I mean, this could be part of CSD. This could be part of the simulator. I wouldn't be against that. So it will help fund the simulator in the end, because, you know, this is the thing. If we build it, we can be like, you know, we can keep saying, vote for example, the Commons simulator. You know, and then this is advertising for our simulator. That's how we could sponsor this.
It makes actually a lot of sense, because it's a way to, you know, decrease the friction of everyone. And so basically by doing that, we might increase the overall value flowing through the system just by removing a lot of barriers and just accepting transaction one after the other one, you know, just tack, 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 tack.
Okay, well,
On next time.
definitely on next time, absolutely.
Good point.
Let's begin with something simple with the Google
Yeah.
Docs, and then we see.
Google
Yeah.
Doc
Yeah,
to flowchart.
first time Google Docs. Yeah. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I see flowchart as the end goal and Google Doc to get there, or at least
Yeah,
the
yeah.
checkpoint, right? And then we'll see where it goes from there. Danny, were you going
You
to
guys
say
use
something?
Miro?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, or
Miro.
Miro or whatever. We
Miro
can
is
do
awesome,
it
I think, for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's also it can also be clickable, I think, in Miro. Even though we can do it in Figma.
Yep.
I mean, I can take it to Figma as well and make it like clickable and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
That's also nice. So we'll see. We'll
'Cause
see. Let's start with the Google Doc first.
Yeah.
we can basically share just a screenshot of that, or a link to the actual work that we did.
Prototype
So,
or something.
yeah, so exactly, or Figma or Miro works well also for that. We can share a public link, and so everyone can just have view rights and play with the stuff. And us on our side, we can just have the edit rights and edit it as we go. And it will be easier to manage than just, we have a Google flowchart and then we export it every time we want to make a modification.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I can definitely get this started. Oh yeah, Danny.
Yeah, the main thing I just wanted to say is that there's a bunch of new people with new Ethereum wallets ready to jump in and donate to get coin grants in the next 2 weeks. So the Medium article was awesome for me because it gave me the understanding I needed to get things up on conviction. But the PAN thing, like, you've already got that Medium article. I love the idea of a website, but the easiest and quickest way to get information into people's hands to how to get PAN and use it on Gitcoin is what I would really love to see quickly, simply.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm hoping that the PAN team. Thanks, Tanner. Thanks for hanging out.
Tanner.
Man.
Yep. Thanks.
I hope that the PAN crew is working on this, right? Like Neuron had a great Twitter thread, and I actually assume that there already are blog posts about how to get PAN and all this stuff. So hopefully, when we're doing this, we'll uncover a lot of the stuff that's already there, and we can repurpose it. Because, I mean, this is the 8th round of Panbala. The problem is he changes it every time.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, that's the thing. It's not really clear. I've been looking through it.
Yeah. So, I mean, in short, go to Uniswap, buy PAN with Ether.
That's it.
That's it. And then use
and
the PAN to donate.
Yeah, and then next round you're gonna find out how it's working.
I mean, geez, Gitcoin just integrated ZK rollup.
Yeah.
There's ZK sync. And so now we're gonna do layer 2 PAN. I have no idea how that works. I don't want to explain it. But yeah, every 3 months, dude, trying to do this, it's like changing so much every time. But yeah, we'll get something good out, and I think a beautiful flow chart will help a lot of people, and hopefully it'll advertise the conviction voting work that Sem has put in, and if we just kind of throw Common Simulator in there, we'll get some extra press and some extra PAN as well, hopefully. Cool. Is there any other topics that we needed to cover that I missed from our intentions here? Okay, cool. Well, we went on a crazy diversion, but it turned out really nice. This is really reminds me of the post that somebody posted in our main Common Stack channel about like trying to keep the improv and serendipity flow for these kinds of projects. It's a really interesting article that he wrote. So definitely worth checking out. And I think that bodes well for groups. So it's good to have these kind of divergence sometimes. But anyway, we can still end early, and everyone can go about their day. So, well, thank you guys.
Thanks,
Cool, guys.
Griff. Thanks, everyone. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
See you.